Welcome to the Eat Better, Move Better, Live Better podcast presented by Flourish with Tracy, where we'll dive into the realms of holistic wellness, plant-based nutrition, yoga, and self-care to help you live your best life. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for our special segments. Meditation Monday, start your week with mindfulness. Wellness Wednesdays, get the midweek boost you need. Sadhana Saturdays, dedicate weekends to personal growth. Join us as we explore and discuss all things to eat better, move better, and live better. Welcome. Today we're going to begin a new series. It's a journey into one of the most foundational and transformative teachings within yoga philosophy. It's the Yamas and Niyamas. The Yamas and Niyamas are often described as the ethical and personal observances of yoga. And they are, but they're also tools that we can use to reduce suffering, increasing our awareness, deepen our peace, create our integrity, strengthen our spiritual clarity, and help us live in alignment, not by simply memorizing them or performing them perfectly, but understanding them. Because true yoga is not only about movement, it's about a way of being. And so these teachings are not about punishment or perfectionism. They are invitations into conscious living. And so today we'll overview what the Yamas and Niyamas are and how they work together, how they help us with our external and internal practice, and why they're so profound within our modern life. And over the next few weeks, we'll deep dive into each series. So what's the beginning of the Yamas and Niyamas? It is yoga beyond the physical. And when many people hear the word yoga, they think of stretching, flexibility, postures, fitness, or relaxation. Historically, yoga is far more expansive than just the physicality of it. It's a complete system for understanding our behavior, our mind, suffering, consciousness, our energy, and liberation. The word yoga actually comes from the Sanskrit root yug, meaning to yoke, to unite, to bring into harmony. Yoga seeks to unite the body and the mind, action and awareness, spirit and daily living. And yoga is highlighted in the yoga philosophy text called the Yoga Sutras from Patanjali. And Patanjali outlines what is known as the 8 limbs of yoga. The first 2 are the Yamas and the Niyamas. The Yamas are external, it's how we relate to the world. And the Niyamas are internal, how we relate to ourselves. And they're not separate. They work hand in hand in conjunction with each other. And they help us with integrity, compassion, self-awareness, and inner discipline. They remind us yoga begins in how we live. Because even if you can perform advanced yoga postures, you can still struggle with anger, dishonesty, greed, self-hatred, emotional reactivity, or spiritual disconnection. The Yamas and the Niyamas help us with this balance, help us with the tools to navigate. So let's begin by looking at the Yamas, the ethical restraints, or how we engage externally, our social discipline. And it's good to think of them not as rules, but as practices that reduce harm and help create harmony in your external world. Yamas guide behavior, interactions, communication, relationships, and your energetic footprint. Yamas are outward facing, and they address the question, how do I move through the world consciously? Yamas are considered external practices because they shape how we engage with people, environments, systems, and life itself. And over the next few weeks, we'll go over the 5 yamas. It is ahimsa, non-violence, meaning to not harm. Satya, truthfulness, not brutal honesty as a weapon, but alignment between thought, speech, and action. Asteya, non-stealing, and this is beyond objects. We'll dive into what non-stealing means, because we can steal time, energy, attention, ideas without even realizing it. And how do we then embrace contentment and respect? The fourth is brahmacharya, using your energy wisely to conserve. And you ask yourself the questions, what is my energy leaking? What habits are depleting me? What strengthens my spirit? Am I living compulsively or consciously? And the 5th yama is non-attachment, aparagraha, non-grasping. So this includes not hoarding, and not just physical things, but identities, expectations, control, and outcomes. Many forms of our suffering may come from gripping too tightly. This practice of aparagraha creates spaciousness. Notice how the yamas are not merely moral instructions, they're mirrors. They help reveal where suffering forms, where imbalance lives, and where consciousness can expand. They shape how we exist externally. Then when you think of yoga, you realize that you're also being asked to turn inward. And this internal work is where the niyamas begin. The niyamas are internal observances. So as the yamas asks, how do I relate to the world? The niyamas asks the internal question, how do I relate to myself? And these inner practices cultivate inner harmony, spiritual discipline, emotional maturity, self-awareness, and your own personal journey of evolution. It's not about becoming better than anyone else. It's all about becoming more conscious within yourself. Just as there are 5 yamas, there are also 5 niyamas. The first one is sukhja, purity or cleanliness. It refers to the process of purification, cleansing your body, your environment, your thoughts, habits, how you consume media, what influences your energy. Not about being perfect, but reducing what clouds your clarity. The second is santosha, which means contentment. Not giving up with ambition, not complacency, but just learning peace in the present moment as you are, where you are, while you are. Realizing that you can honor while you're still growing. And without contentment or santosha, your mind may be constantly driving you for more, faster, better. Being content interrupts that dissatisfaction. Third is tapas, discipline or sacred effort. It's consistency, commitment, intentional practice, showing up for yourself, even if it's uncomfortable. The word tapas carries a meaning of heat. Heat as in fire of transformation. Transformation requires friction. So you begin to look at how habits shape your steps. The fourth is self-study, svadhyaya, self-reflection, observing patterns and thoughts, reflecting on your behaviors, engaging in your spiritual practice. Self-study is not self-judgment, it's observing and witnessing. Many people fear this particular step because stillness reveals truth. However, if we look at this from a standpoint of awareness, it also creates freedom. And the fifth is Ishvara Pranidhana, spiritual surrender, surrendering to something that is greater. And that's based on your personal beliefs, whatever that is to you. A divine consciousness, the universe, the all-creator, a higher wisdom, a deity or God, or life itself. Surrender does not mean passivity. It means releasing obsessive control. It means to trust deeper intelligence, to soften the ego's need to dominate every outcome. And one of the most powerful ways to understand the Yamas and Niyamas is through the lens of external versus internal. As mentioned, the Yamas are facing outward, influencing how we speak, how we treat others, how we consume, how we respond, how we exist socially within the world. The Niyamas face inward, influencing self-awareness, self-regulation, inner discipline, inner emotional processing, and spiritual connection. The Yamas shape the world around us. The Niyamas shape the world within us. And they both work hand in hand, deeply interconnected. Without inner contentment, external greed may emerge. Without self-study, harmful communication may continue unconsciously. Without discipline, compassion could remain an idea instead of a lived practice. Without surrender, control may dominate our relationships. External harmony requires internal awareness. Internal healing influences external behavior. Yoga recognizes that transformation moves in both directions. Inside affects outside, and outside affects inside. And this is why the practice of Yama and Niyama are paired together. And so why are these teachings so important, and why do they matter today? Although ancient teachings can sometimes feel distant from modern life, there is a truth and a realization that these ancient teachings, such as the Yamas and Niyamas, are actually more relevant now than ever, especially in our current world of overstimulation, comparison, distraction, burnout, reactive communications, chronic stress, and disconnection. The Yamas and Niyamas help regulate the human experience. These teachings are not about becoming spiritually superior. They're about becoming more awake, more intentional, more compassionate, to counter hostility with ahimsa, nonviolence, to counter chronic dissatisfaction with contentment, santosha, to counter inconsistency with tapas, discipline. These teachings are designed to help us be more intentional, more compassionate, more integrated. You don't master them all at once. They're lifelong companions. Some days you embody them just as you intend and do so beautifully. Other days you may drift away from the practice. The objective is to see the practice as a tool to help you to return to what is true for you. So I invite you to join us over the next few weeks as we begin to deep dive into the Yamas and the Niyamas. Not simply to study it from an intellectual perspective, but just to notice which practices resonate with you. Some may challenge. It's normal. Some may create discomfort. Others may reveal where you are ready to grow as an opportunity to invite yourself into your awareness, to check in with how you currently move through the world or relate to yourself. Where do you experience inner conflict or desire more peace? It's just an invitation to notice without judgment and to observe. And to realize that the invitation of the Yamas and the Niyamas are not commandments. They are just opportunities to tap in to who you are. To remind us that practicing yoga is not confined to physicality upon the mat. To be able to live consciously, reduce your suffering, and to align. And most importantly, to embody. So I'd like to invite you as we close our conversations today to commit to living with greater awareness. To affirm, may my actions create less harm. May my inner world become more peaceful. May I practice truth with compassion. And may my practice extend beyond the mat into every part of life. Thank you for beginning this journey. May the Yamas illuminate how you move through the world, and the Niyamas illuminate this sacred space within. Until then, Namaste. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's insights help you on a personal journey towards a healthier, happier life. Don't forget to join every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern for more self-care and holistic wellness tips. Before you go, make sure to comment, click the bell, like, and subscribe buttons for upcoming episode notifications. Be sure to always consult a medical professional before making any major changes regarding your health, diet, or routine. In the meanwhile, stay motivated, stay inspired, and remember, every step you take is one step closer to a better you. Until next time, keep flourishing, and as always, may all be well.